If you've heard of Vivziepop, you're more than likely familiar with her three biggest projects, being Hazbin Hotel, Helluva Boss, and Zoophobia. What if I were to tell you that there was meant to be a fourth project, which got cancelled? In this video, I'm going to go through the history and cancellation of Vivzie's lost project, Allison. So for a bit of backstory, back in 2015, Vivzie began work on a 22-minute animated musical short titled Allison. The announcement was made during her 200,000 subscriber special. Vivzie revealed that she was going to make a Kickstarter for her next project, Allison. It would be a musical with some experienced voice talent. It would be her first professional production and will also be her longest animation yet. She was planning to have the Kickstarter campaign ready by April 2016. She did say that the project had been difficult to create so far, which was a foreboding statement that will be more relevant later. So, with the backstory covered, it's time to talk about what Allison is and who the cast of the show was. Allison was set in the Alice in Wonderland universe, with the main character being called Allison. She would travel throughout a magical world and meet a cast of interesting characters. In 2015, Vivzie posted a character lineup from the project. We can see the main cast of the show. From left to right, we have Allison, Cheshire, Dee, Dumb, Hatter, Hare, Pillar, and the Queen. Anyone familiar with Alice in Wonderland will immediately recognise the names of these characters and their role in the series. Each character has a unique design, and Vivzie's signature style is very apparent. Allison, the protagonist, is a short blonde girl with a red dress. Next to her is Cheshire. He is a Cheshire cat, and from the videos and information revealed by Vivzie, he was to be the main supporting character within the show. He's a short Cheshire cat with blue fur and pink eyes. He wears a top hat, bow tie, and holds a cane. He also had the ability to detach his head from his body and float around. The next two characters are Dee and Dumb. They're a pair of conjoined twins. One has white hair and the other being pink. They also wear a burlesque outfit. Next are the Hatter and the Hare. The Hatter is a small humanoid character with pink hair, yellow skin, and a clown nose. He wears a blue top hat, and his entire body is covered in polka dots. The Hare looks quite similar to the Hatter. He is white and pink, with spots throughout his body. The next is Pillar. He's a large moth with white fur and pink feathers. He's the tallest of the bunch and carries a glowing ball. He also smokes a hookah, which is basically a pipe. The last character and my personal favourite is the Queen. She's a tall, imposing character with red hair, red eyes, and yellow skin. She's wearing a ringleader outfit and carries a cane with a heart on the end. Since she is the Queen of Hearts, there's hearts scattered throughout her outfit and hair. With the characters out of the way, it's time to discuss what we know about the story of the animation. Unfortunately, Viv was quite cryptic about the overall story of the project. However, we can piece together parts of the story based on the source material Allison is based on and statements made by Viv. In a video titled Big Update, Moving plus Hazbin Hotel plus Classic, Viv talked a little about Allison. She talked about how the animation would be a musical about depression and loss. This stands in contrast to the designs of the characters, which look cute and inviting. Since the animation was to be dark, it seems likely that Allison would go through the magical world and meet the cast. She would learn from these characters, and perhaps by the end have a more optimistic outlook on life with the lessons she's learned. Some of Vivziepop's characters also appear different to the source material. In the Alice in Wonderland books and movies, Allison is an intelligent 7-year-old from a rich family. She has good manners, is confident, and has a distinct level of curiosity. This stands in stark contrast to the creatures of Wonderland, which have little manners and act rudely. If we take a look at Vivzie's portrayal of Allison, she appears shy and timid. Like I mentioned previously, it would make logical sense for Allison to develop throughout the animation. She would start out scared and shy, however by the end, with her new lessons learned, she would be more confident and sure of herself. In the source material, the Hare is an important character since he leads Allison to the world of Wonderland. Similarly, in the Tim Burton movies, the Mad Hatter played a significant role being the secondary male protagonist. However, from the shorts and sneak peeks posted by Vivzie, the character elements from these two have been merged with the Cheshire Cat. In art posted by Vivzie, the Cheshire Cat is always beside Allison, which suggests that he is the secondary protagonist of the short. It's highly likely that he led Allison to the world and also acts as a mentor or guide throughout her travels. He also appeared to maintain his signature devious nature that the original Cheshire Cat had in the source material. He would likely play tricks on Allison and get her into interesting situations. In the source material, Tweedledee and Tweedledum were a pair of identical twins. In the Tim Burton movies, they act as the Queen of Hearts servant servants. Vivzie's depiction of the characters differs a little from the source material. Firstly is that they have been gender swapped to become female. They're also a conjoined pair. Their fun, happy-go-lucky attitude appears to still be present, and the fact that they're wearing a burlesque outfit suggests that similarly to the Tim Burton movie, they would act as servants for the Queen of Hearts since she wears a ringleader outfit. Pillar appears similar to the source material. In the books, he was a caterpillar, while in Vivzie's version he's a large moth. Caterpillar was rude, unhelpful, and did little except for blowing smoke at Allison. In Vivzie's depiction, he looks more sinister. In one image, we can see Pillar talking to Allison. His signature smoke is present, and it looks like he's using his crystal ball, similarly to how a fortune teller would. All of the characters mentioned previously were friendly or on Allison's side, however Pillar is at best neutral. The fact that he's holding a crystal ball emphasizes this. He would most likely annoy or scare Allison with his large silhouette and smoke, while simultaneously providing useless, scary or unhelpful advice with his crystal ball. The final character is the Queen of Hearts. In the source material, she's a childish, foul-tempered monarch and acts as the main antagonist. Some of these design elements have been transferred over to Vivzie's version. However, some elements are unique. As you may have noticed with the other characters, they all resemble members of a circus, especially the Cheshire Cat and Dee and Dumb. The Queen is no different and acts as the ringleader of the circus. She's tall, sadistic, and seductive. Like in the books, the Queen would be the main villain and would punish Allison or make life difficult for her. Personally, I think that by the end of the animation, Allison would either defeat the Queen or manage to escape from Wonderland. With the backstory, lore, and characters discussed, it's time for us to discuss the unfortunate cancellation of the project. If we take a look at Vivzie's posts, things were coming along smoothly. From what I gathered, she never actually ended up making a Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign for the project. However, Vivzie expressed many times that crowdfunding was going to be her main way of funding the project. In March 2015, Vivzie did a Tumblr post where she explained that she was opening commissions to help fund the project. Her post reads, "Okay, so before I set up the Indiegogo for Allison, I want to get a jump on raising funds with commissions as well. Part of me is nervous about relying fully on a crowdfund just in case it doesn't get funded, so I'll be opening commissions for the time being. Commissions will also be one of the fund tiers for the campaign as well. This time, I'm offering more options for people who can't afford the full thing. The money is going towards my next film project. I'm planning on getting it unionized to help hire professional VAs such as Richard Horvitz. So, if you think that's a worthy thing to help out with, please think about commissioning me or sharing the post." She also discussed the project a little more in January 2017 with an update video about her Patreon. She mentioned Allison again and how she has Broadway actors on board to participate in the project. So, from the info, it looks like everything was going well. Viv had the core characters and concepts ready. She had connections to professional voice talent and was looking to unionize it. She also had been doing commissions as a way to help fund it. However, things started to take a turn for the worse. The first thing is that Vivzie's last tweet about Allison was in November 2016. Following on from this, in June 2017, Vivzie uploaded another update video and discussed her projects. In particular, she discussed Allison and how the short was about depression, loss, and was her darkest project to date. This video is different because she discussed Allison in the past tense. In particular, Vivzie mentioned how the past year had been rough for her, so she simply wasn't able to bring herself to write Allison. And again, she describes it as a very dark short, which would have made it harder to write. Although Vivzie doesn't outright say the project was cancelled, we can pick up from what she said that the project is more or less dead in the water. So, from that video, we gathered that Vivzie was unable to write due to personal issues, which delayed her work on the project. The second contributing factor was Vivzie's workload. In that video and previous updates, Vivzie discussed how she was working on a JJ Returns animated music video, the Zoophobia reboot, an Owl City silhouette music video, Hazbin Hotel, Patreon, live streams, and commissions. She also mentioned that she was going to work on a new project called Classic. With the benefit of hindsight, we can see that out of everything listed, a lot of these projects were cancelled. JJ Returns, Owl City, Allison, and Classic were all shelved. These projects, combined with Patreon, commissions, speed draws, and live streams, meant that Vivzie had an insane amount of work. Like mentioned before, this workload combined with IRL issues meant that a lot of these projects had to be unfortunately cancelled. As I will continue to discuss, however, some aspects of Allison have lived on within Vivzie's other projects. As I discussed in the last section, Allison was unfortunately cancelled and never saw the light of day. However, one thing you may have picked up on throughout the video is that some elements of the show have lived on in Vivzie's newer projects, such as Hazbin Hotel and Helluva Boss. Various characters and concepts were reused and repurposed into new ideas. The first thing is the characters. With the benefit of hindsight, it's clear that many of these characters and their designs ended up being used in Hazbin Hotel. The first being Allison, who bears a striking resemblance to Charlie. The Cheshire Cat is the most obvious as well, being nearly identical to Husk. Husk was designed way before the Cheshire Cat, however it's pretty obvious that the two characters were inspired from each other. Pillar is very similar to Valentino. They both look sinister with large imposing silhouettes. Valentino has a large fur coat which resembles Pillar and also uses a cigarette with a long smoke trail similar to the pipe Pillar used. The Queen was also repurposed into Lilith. They have the same body type, height, and stance. Personally, I think that the Queen looks way better than Lilith, since she's my favourite out of the bunch. However, I think people would complain that her colour palette is too red. Some of the voice actors that were supposed to appear in Allison ended up starring in Hazbin Hotel and Helluva Boss. The first one, which you probably caught on to earlier, was Richard Horvitz. Viv mentioned him during her commission advertisement, and Richard ended up voicing Moxie in Helluva Boss. The second is Maxwell Adams. Vivzie replied to a fan stating that she had Maxwell on board with the project. Maxwell ended up voicing the I character in Hazbin Hotel, who mocks Charlie. The last person is James Monroe Eagleheart. In the privated 2015 Cheshire voice test, Viv had James down as a set voice for the Cheshire Cat. James ended up voicing the Lizard Demon in the Hazbin Hotel pilot, along with Vortex and Asmodeus in Helluva Boss. Some of the core design ideas were also carried over. As mentioned earlier, the characters and art depicted Allison and the cast in a circus or wearing circus attire. This idea was carried over to Helluva Boss, where multiple episodes and characters take place in a circus or previously worked at a circus, such as Blitz and Fizzarolli. The teaser image of Lucifer also took place in a circus, so it's likely that we would see more circus-related imagery in Hazbin Hotel too. Helluva Boss also has some dark scenes and sad moments, so there's a high likelihood that some of these concepts were planned for Allison. So, just before we wrap things up, I wanted to mention some controversy that surrounded this project. The first is that since Vivzie didn't officially cancel the project, fans have been left in the dark for years about the project. I've seen multiple tweets, posts, and comments from fans asking what happened. Although Viv did more or less hint at the project being cancelled in her update video, I think it would have been better if she had did an official announcement or tweet explaining that the project was cancelled. The second thing is that some users have tried to use Allison's cancellation against Vivzie. One point in particular I've seen mentioned is that apparently Vivian made a crowdfund campaign for her film Allison. This was never promised, and whether anyone got their money back is unknown. This is completely untrue. After going through years of posts, I haven't found any evidence of Vivzie starting a crowdfunding campaign for the show. The image included is the picture of Vivzie's commission sheet. Vivzie opened up commissions and said that the money from them were going towards the show. Although the show was cancelled, the people commissioning her still received their commissions. It would be a different story if, for example, it was a Kickstarter, people donated to the Kickstarter, and then Vivzie ran away with the money, but that never happened. As I mentioned earlier, Vivzie had intentions of starting an Indiegogo or Kickstarter, but she never got around to doing it. Perhaps this has led people to be confused, and they think that she scammed people, but that's just false. I thought it would be important for me to clarify and debunk this rumour, just in case people on Twitter ever try to spin it as a talking point.
Oh, we were right there, man!
So that's the story and unfortunate cancellation of Vivzie's lesser-known project, Allison. From my knowledge, this is the first time someone has compiled everything into a video essay, so I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm quite sad that the project was shelved, but I'm at least happy that some elements of it were able to make their way into Vivzie's current projects. If you enjoyed the video or have any thoughts, please leave them down below in the comments. Thanks for watching.